Hello and welcome to the first episode of Singlehood Unlimited with Dr. Casey. I'm your host, Dr. Casey, and we will be talking about singlehood. We have plenty of content online about romance and love and relationships, but we have nothing about singlehood, especially not a positive, affirming, and celebratory take on singlehood. This show brings to you, for the first time in India, a lively discussion about the joys and tribulations of being single. In our first episode, we're going to discuss what it is like to be single by choice, how one arrives at it, and most importantly, what makes one a happily single person. And you heard that right. A happily single person is not an oxymoron. So my first guest for the show is Dr. Kiran Bhairannavar, who teaches geography at Delhi University and loves to travel and explore the world. Welcome to the show, Kiran.
Hi, Kirti. Hello.
Hi.
And it's very nice that you're having me on the show. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for making the time. So, do you want to tell us something about how do you understand and how do you arrive to being single? How do you understand being single by choice?
Okay. Now that's a very it's a very long journey actually. Living in the world where coupling and being with somebody is so central, and you grow up in a social situation where everyone is with somebody, and the pressures that you have, which from various platforms, right? Right from being with friends, then once you get puberty, there's a peer pressure that you have to have somebody in your life. Then comes with your parents. Even before parents have started talking about, there is cinema, there are television serials that all emphasize so much on coupling, that there is somebody unseen is made for you. And this rut till you sit down and you have convinced yourself, you have taken a position, not only a position, you made a choice that you're going to go and undertake this journey all by yourself. And I think that is what makes me arrive at this point of being single by choice. It's just not single by accident. Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a few stories about what it's been like to be single by choice? How have people reacted to it? And any defining moment when you realize, yeah, this is it?
Okay, yeah. So wherever you have gone, like wherever I have gone, the whole question has been like, you're settled in your career, now you have to find somebody. Or the first question, are you seeing somebody? Or it is like, when are you getting married? So these are the questions, and these are just not one person asking. This is everybody is asking these questions, and this is one side of the story. Like people asking you as to why are you single, not why are you single, until when are you going to stay single, when are you getting married, is there somebody special whom you're not talking to us about? So these are many questions. But when you look at my own life, it was something that I had never thought about, that, like, for example, marriage was not an option for me. Like, I never thought about it, that I will be married, that I have to get married. When my parents asked me, and I was like, okay, just like people ask you, right, in a party, do you want to have some juice? Do you want to have some drink? And you say no. So it was just like that, coming like, oh, what about your marriage? What sort of marriage? No, because I never thought about it, or it was not my priority. And so I think I was very comfortable with this position of being single. And so that is one, like, there'll be no permanent partner, I will not stay with anybody. And I think that was a part of my journey, that I have these priorities and I'll be staying all alone. But then I only encountered it when people started asking, and they started asking it seriously. When people asked you, like, whom are you seeing when you're in college or in the university, when you're studying, these questions are not that serious. Okay, I'm single. Okay, fine. You will find somebody. Somebody is made for someone. So
Mm-hmm.
all those romantic notions have been there, but the seriousness, I think, for me, it came when my parents started putting pressures, and like, where is your life partner? What sort of life partner? And then one morning they just, like, after putting, what you know, right, how parents in India have their pressure points from relatives, grandparents, parents, friends of friends. But after having tried everything, they once asked me directly, take your time, you need somebody to live with, tell us what you want clearly. And every time I say, like, I'm not a 17-year-old kid that I'm, like, shy. I'm a grown-up man. And I took my time. I think, exactly 5 to 10 minutes. I went in and I came out and I told my parents, I've decided, I've taken my time, and I'm going to take this journey all by myself. And they said, no, we asked you to take time. But I have taken time. This is a choice that I have made. And I think that is one phase where I had made a choice with my parents. I think they're family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that is one. The other one where I think the whole idea got concretized was, it's not that I've not been in relationships or going on dating and all. I have done that, but then, you see there is a cycle, right? And then one fine day, and it was not really long ago, that I realized that I have been much more happier, much more outgoing, much more myself when I have been um, with myself. And I think that is something that I was also not seeing, because the social pressures and living alone, again, I stay all by myself in Delhi and all, and so it brings you certain anxieties and to certain desperation. But I think this was somewhere I had finally arrived, that this is looking at myself, giving a good look at myself, and deciding at that point of time, yes, this is what I want. This is, I think, my happiest moments are when I'm all by myself and exploring the world, or living every moment of life. And I think that was which made me happy and single. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a great story. In fact, that's exactly what social psychologist Dr. Bella De Paolo calls single at heart. That those who are single at heart live their best lives when they're single, and I completely identified with that. And for me, that moment of being single at heart came during the pandemic. I'm like, I cannot be more happy being single and living alone where there is, pandemic raging around. I don't want anyone in my house. So I completely understand this idea of I'm happy on my own, right? You travel a lot. Can you tell us about some of your experiences of being single when you travel? Something funny, something interesting.
Yeah, I think, like, travel is something that, as a family, we always used to travel, and I love going out in the world and at least looking at places and seeing. And many a times, what used to happen was I used to wait for friends.
Hmm.
Somebody will come with me, not somebody, but a group of friends who would, like, as friends do, cancel the trip at the last minute. All vacations gone under the drain because of them, or everything canceled. But I think it's just started when I started traveling abroad, and because you can't take your friends abroad, right? And I think that gave me the confidence I needed, was when you traveled abroad and you planned, organized it all alone, and you went. And possibly that the first step that I took, that was my first trip, and I think I've traveled around like 26, 27 countries.
Wow.
Um, just like all by myself organizing, and each one has been an experience. And traveling alone makes you also in control of your routes, but also helps you to get lost. Possibly when you're with somebody, or when you're with a group, means your routes are always planned and controlled. And I think this one has given a chance also to get lost and into the world, explore more, much more deeply, and you make friends on the way. And I think that is a very important, a precious experience, that you make friends on the way. And every time you have taken a journey, you pick up new experiences. And the funniest parts were when I have traveled to not so touristy places. and like smaller towns of India which are not on the tourist map. And people have asked, like, have you come for work? I said, no, I've come to explore this place. You've come all alone. Who travels all alone like this? I told I travel. Of course, there's this whole solo travelers thing these days, but in smaller, like, these are not small towns. These are less known towns. Like, people don't go there for tourism to see around. And they're like, "Acha, आप इतने दूर से आए हो दिल्ली से, let's, like, we'll show you around." And I think they have shown local people have shown me around, and they have uh, they have like made it well. But one of these, yeah, I think travels have been very what do you call it? Very enriching. And as a single traveler, or as a solo traveler, they have made your experiences much more stronger. It's not like 7 day, 3 nights trip, no, 7 day, 6 days, 7 nights trips. No, it's not like that. But somehow, yeah, it's
Yeah,
been fun. Yeah.
yeah. I have not traveled much alone, but there's an exhilaration whenever I have gone somewhere alone, or even when I, take a ride after work. I often do that. I take a spin for half an hour on the bike. It is an exhilaration to it. Do you feel that too?
Now, can you come again? I couldn't, like,
I
get it.
feel
Yeah.
a lot of exhilaration when I'm on my own, when I travel on my own. Even if I take a half an hour bike ride, or I'm going to, for half a day somewhere on my own, for pleasure, not for work. There's an exhilaration that I feel. Do you feel that too?
Yes, yes, very much, very much. It is like having achieved something, or it's a thrill, right? Yeah, you
Yes.
just take it's very it's like taking a chance and just going out there, and coming with all sorts of experiences and declaring it to your friends as well. Like, oh, do you know I was here?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Uh,
that's, yeah.
I boast about it on social media. Do you also boast about it on social media?
I used to, and all my trips were on social media, but then I've stopped doing that. As of now, like, I was like, okay, fine, let me take some rest from social media now. Maybe once again, I'll just, yeah, come back and post things.
So, when we talk about being happily single, you are clearly single by heart. But when you talk about happily single, how would you describe it? What are those happy moments? We know that you love traveling, but what are your other happy moments as a single person?
I think the happy moments as being single. What are those moments? Yes. Like what? Like, I know many, but I think I'm not able to recollect. But yes, I think one of the happy moments is, like, sitting when you go back home, you sit on your couch with your drink and look outside the window, and you just feel happy about it. Or you just, when you cook something, I think I've never felt very nice, not just very nice. I think I've fallen in love with myself all over again, looking at what I have cooked. So I think, yeah, that is one moment which is like very something exhilarating, or you fall in love, right? Like falling in love with what you've cooked, or going home and sitting all by yourself as the day ends, and you just have dinner and go back to sleep, or do something that you've planned. And I think these are something, these are happier. This is something called happy and single. Is one in your own domestic space, um, being alone. Because for a lot of time, which also has happened to me, not that I'm always happy and single, is going back home and eating what you have cooked, or sitting all alone at the dining table and eating food. And I think this is something that comes back to bite you very badly. But that used to happen, but not anymore. Where I think you enjoy, where you go to the market, pick your vegetables, and you cook what you have, and you enjoy that. And I think that is what makes you happier, right? That at the end of the day, you have done something that you're celebrating it. The other one would be, yeah, going out to anywhere in the city, exploring a new place, and having and having that experience and coming back, or going out for, say, just walk for your grocery shopping. One experience of being single is it makes you much more responsible on all the fronts, because there's no division of labor of any sorts, from paying your bills to going out to the office to washing your clothes to or getting ready, getting your dinner ready, or many things come, and you're the only person there, you and your space. And I think that either it's festivals, or it's you're hosting a party, or it's just your everyday ordinary life. That is where the true happiness comes, that you have arrived somewhere and you have done and shown it. I know this. Yeah, one incident I should tell you. I was painting my house, and I have domestic help who comes and helps me and keeps my house clean and all. So I was getting my house painted, and I just take one day. I have a deadline because you're all alone. You have to do it all by yourself. There's nobody to stand for you. So I got it done in 1.5 days. Finish, all house arranged. The maid comes. Oh my God, you just finished. People are waiting since like three months or weeks together. आज करवाएंगे, कल करवाएंगे, कौन करवाएगा, and you have done it. So I think this is where even decision making and so this is where I think you start appreciating yourself also, because you also become efficient in
Yeah.
organizing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. One moment, one funny moment was when I first got my domestic help. She came. This was the first meeting, and she looked around and kya kaam karna hai, and I told her this is 1 2 3 4 works you have to do, and she told like who all stay here. I told I stay all by myself. आपका कोई नहीं है इस दुनिया में. She comes, oh God, that is so sad. I don't know, I have people, but I live alone here. But then, yeah, that's how, she started like, oh, you don't have anybody in this world. You're living all alone. So, yeah, maybe. So that is funny. The other funny thing that I also encounter is when I go to have a meal outside. Once I went to have dinner at this very upmarket restaurant near the campus, and they did not know. And this was evening time, like dinner. They did not know where to make me sit, because if any table I'm going to occupy, I asked table for one, and they were like confused. Are you waiting for somebody? No. Like they couldn't make sense of who would come to a restaurant to eat all alone. And look at this is a social situation, right? Like you're always expected to be with people, or at least table for two and not table for one. And they didn't know where, because every table I'm going to sit at means that table only one person is going to occupy it. So that might just go against their economy or business. So, and finally they made me sit somewhere, and yeah, they served food, and they kept asking me, is anybody going to come? I said, no, I'm going to enjoy my food all alone. So I think this is also a funny moment for them and for me. I was like, okay, I told, what is this? You can't expect anybody all alone. And which was very unlike in Singapore, where I did my PhD. And there was one restaurant called Murugan Idlis. So here there were tables for people who would come in groups, and there were tables for single people. Single as in there were tables with 2 chairs. And what they used to do, they knew, because Singapore is like huge, a lot of migrants come there. So mostly they come all alone. So they knew, and so they made me sit at a table, and they brought some other single person whosoever came, and they made me sit with him. And in that restaurant, I made so many friends because I knew the other person is also come alone, and then we used to start talking over eating our idlis, then possibly go out and have coffee outside. And so I think, yeah, it's maybe cultural situations here. Yeah.
Interesting, because that way, I mean, you would meet people you would have otherwise met. Had you just
Yes,
had it for
yes.
yourself, this way you have actually made a bunch of friends in a new city, in a new country. That's absolutely
Yes,
fantastic.
yeah.
And the fact that you bring up that, where there are migrants, where there's diversity in a city, they're more likely to, also accommodate people who are single rather than just families or couples. This is really
Yes, yes, very much.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so Kiran, anything else you would like to add about being happily single or being single by choice before we wrap up the interview, before we wrap up the chat?
Yeah, I think one thing I would say, because I think is something, I've gone to a workshop where this person, well, somebody put a question that I don't want to get married, and I want to stay alone, like I want to stay single. And the person who was answering the question was like, no, no, you need to find somebody. How can you live alone? And I was like, no, no, no. Maybe I can answer this question. Possibly it offended somebody, the organizer, but I thought I'm going to answer this question because I'm not going to take this sitting down. I thought if you don't want to get married, if you don't want to have any romantic relationships, or you could have romantic relationships and all, but if you have chosen to remain single, possibly organize your life around it, because you know you want to stay single. You've made a choice, and organize your life around it. Like, you have your social spaces, have a very good group of friends whom you could call in times of emergency or in times of celebrations, and and since you've made a choice, so you see how do you celebrate life, rather than just keep defending that I want to be single, right? I think that is something that we should all think about, is how do we actually, if we have made a choice, and if we have, like, taken this decision, it's not just decision, but if we enjoy being single, then yes, let's be. And let's not also always, like, because the world is towards couple down, it enjoys, it's all about coupling. Any advertisement, any serial, any movie, or anything, every cultural thing is about coupling, right? So, but in that situation, how would you actually bloom and design your life and possibly enjoy every moment of being it?
Wow, that's a wonderful thought to end. And I'm sure my our viewers will really enjoy our fun interview, all the questions that you've thrown up to us. Thank you so much, Kiran, for joining us. And with that,
Oh,
I'll
thank you
sign
so
off.
much for coming up. Yeah.
Okay. So bye,
Take care.
Kiran.
See you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for being with us. Bye.